Hey yo, what's going on, man? It's your boy Chuck D, and today I got my boy Rowdy Razor with me. What's going on, man?
What's good? What's good?
And I want to welcome y'all to the Hot Topics podcast. Salute.
Salute.
All right, so right now we want to get into this fight card that's coming up in the UFC 273. Headliner Alexander Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie. What do you think? Then we're going just off the headline, the main fight of the evening.
Yeah, the meat of the fight card.
Bingo. I don't even think that's the meat of the fight card. But
to me, it is, man. To me, it is.
Really?
The preliminaries are hit and miss, man. I mean,
I'm not okay. If you're talking about like early preliminaries, then main card being the meat, then yeah, I got you. But if you're talking about just that one fight being the meat of it, no.
No, I'm talking about like the main card, the meat of the the whole thing. No, I think
meat of the night. I got you.
Yeah, that's what everybody pays the money for, quote unquote. So to those who are buying,
last three fights should be all dope, and that's what we all pay our money for.
Yeah, if the prelims happen to be good, awesome. But if not, I'm paying money to see these big names. It needs to be solid. But Alexander Volkanovski, the Korean Zombie, and you got two very veteran fighters in the fight game. I'm going with the Korean Zombie on this one, though. I think Volkanovski.
What did you say about the military thing?
I was telling you about that earlier. The Korean Zombie in Korea, they make the men serve in the military for like 4 years. You have it's mandatory. They sent him a letter one day, and he's living in America. He was living and trained and everything else, and was supposed to have a fight, and they sent him letters like, hey, you got to come join the military. Like at 24, I think he got sent the letter, and he served 4 years and came back to the UFC and has been fighting ever since.
So I never knew how that I never knew that or how it worked. So that's kind of wild. I'm glad I got that bit of information, because that makes me look at Korean fighters a little different. Korean people, like that's, what I'm saying. I wish them all the best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never knew that at all. That's kind of wild. But I do think he gives Alexander Volkanovski a good fight. Max Holloway gave him a good fight. I don't think he won that second fight. I don't think Volkanovski won that second fight, to be honest.
I think Volkanovski might have won that fight. I mean, that one could have gone either way. Honestly, it could have. I don't think he was winning the fight, but he won it. If you know what I mean,
Yeah, I got you.
So, I mean, I got the Korean Zombie coming out of this one. I think this is a tough matchup.
I'll take
this kid.
Korean Zombie as well.
I believe this kid has never been knocked out.
And if that's true, because I mean, Volkanovski ain't really knocked nobody out like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? He got good combos, but he's never really dropped anyone. So if we could go with that, I believe that the Korean Zombie comes out on top in this fight.
I mean, he almost beat Jose Aldo, and he got TKO due to a shoulder injury. They made him lose that fight. Because he got a title fight at, I can't even.
Make sure your connection on your mic is good, because it keeps going in and out.
There you go. Better.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's had a title shot before against Jose Aldo. And he lost that due to a shoulder injury. It wasn't like, I think he had fractured his shoulder, like it popped out of place, something like that. So they stopped.
Which happens. I don't count those fights, to be honest.
Back in 2013, somewhere around there, 2013, 2014, that happened, So he's familiar. He's been here before. This isn't a first time title fight,
All right.
I mean,
then we move on to Aljamain Sterling and Peter Yan. I mean, finish what you were saying about the Korean Zombie. But I really want to move on to this Aljamain Sterling.
Oh, you're good. I mean, I think he's 4-2 right now. He's got great victories over Frankie Edgar and Dan. I can't pronounce the last name. Dan Ige. It's IG. Can't remember it. Can't say it.
It's Ige. It's
Ige. It's Ige.
Yeah.
He's Ige. But
yeah, he's Ige. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but
Ige.
But I definitely think he can come out and definitely secure this title for himself. But yeah, as you're saying, Aljamain Sterling, Peter Yan. Who do you got? Who do you got there, man? Let's
I have
hear
Aljamain Sterling. I really do.
Man,
the fuss up?
you have bad taste in fighters, right? Just like
Really?
just like bad taste in football teams, man. You know, it's okay. We don't hold it against you. But I don't see Aljamain as a championship fighter. I think not to say he's a bad fighter. We've seen his gas tank. We've seen what's in there, you know. And Peter Yan beat him, you know, already once. You know,
I believe his theatrics won him that fight, right? But I also believe that this wasn't the normal Aljamain Sterling that we're used to seeing. Do I think his wrestling, his combos, and everything like that turns this fight around for him? Yes. Do I think Peter Yan has an arsenal of his own? Yes. I just think Aljamain Sterling is just too strong, too big for him, man.
I mean, in the first fight, I think Aljamain has definitely transitioned as a fighter, but I think Peter Yan's got too much.
You look, your mic went out again. What you say? You said you think Aljamain Sterling what?
I think Aljamain Sterling is I think he's a more complete fighter, a better fighter than he has been in most recent years. I think it's definitely all come together, but I just think Peter Yan's he's got his number. You know, I think once you pick that fight, you know, you're just kind of normal to it almost, you know, like it's almost second nature to what he's gonna do. You know how the guy fights, you know how to beat him. I think it's more on as Aljamain being the champ, I think it's more on him. I think this is like he needs to prove it more than Peter Yan does.
Well, Peter Yan was the champ for so long, so like, and I'm not saying so long as like years, but Peter Yan was the guy to beat. So like, he was the champ for Peter. You have to beat Peter Yan. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was the thing for most. That was the goal for most fighters throughout their bantamweight career, was to beat Peter Yan because he was the guy. Aljamain Sterling is the guy that can beat Peter Yan, is in my opinion, because and you know, a sports opinion doesn't mean jack garbage when it comes to what's reality. But in my opinion, Aljamain Sterling is the guy that can beat Peter Yan.
I can see it. I mean, I'm still going with my boy Peter Yan, but you know, it's going to be a great fight.
Beats him in a finish.
That's
tough, right?
I could see it going 5, him beating. I don't know, man, a finish.
A finish.
That's bold.
I believe it's a finish. And I'll bet you dinner on it, so we can go out to dinner and I'll pay.
Yeah, I look forward to you buying me dinner off this bad prediction. You know?
I believe it's a finish by 3rd round.
Oh man,
maybe late 4th. I believe it's a finish by 3rd or 4th round.
I think if he doesn't drop him in the first second, I think it goes distance. If for Aljamain, if he's gonna win it. If not, I think Peter Yan could win it. You know, either decision or any time. To be honest,
I've already put my dinner where my mouth is, and let's move on to the next fight. Gilbert Burns versus Khamzat Chimaev. By the way, Kobe is so funny calling him Cum Shop. Listen, Kobe Covington is so funny, but I want to see him fight both of these guys. But we're off of Kobe Covington now because he's not the highlight of what we're talking about. Khamzat Chimaev versus Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns takes this fight. I like Khamzat, but I think Gilbert Burns takes this fight. What do you think?
I mean, Gilbert Burns, I think he's the prototypical, like, I'm going to be a really good fighter, but I'm not going to, like, he beats who he's supposed to beat, right? And I don't think he's had a lot of tests in his career. I mean, he got demolished in his one title shot, honestly. You know?
Well, he had the opportunity to finish. I think he just hesitated.
I mean, and you can't do that, you know? I think Khamzat is freaking, you know, I mean, he's great striker, he's with blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This guy's just crazy.
The belts don't matter.
I think they hold a little more weight. You know,
let me tell you what I think about the belts. You could go buy a belt from fucking Walmart or Kmart or whatever. But I think the belts submit how much of the class you've taken, not what you've practiced. You know what I mean?
I'm with you there. I can get behind that. But I also think the belt holds more precedent. Like, right, you know, I think there's some people that have had the belt that didn't deserve it, and you can see how quickly they don't deserve it by how quick the belt gets turned around. You know?
Right, and which is fair. But I think Gilbert Burns is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. If we're talking about the belts holding weight, he's an amazing wrestler. He's a decent striker. Oh, above decent striker. Hazmat, though, I just believe if he wins this fight, it's by knockout.
I mean, this dude is. So, I mean, it's hard, right? Because the weight that they're fighting in is not what they're fighting in on fight night. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So is Gilbert Burns at 170 or is he at 205? Is he at 190? You know. And what is what are they walking?
I don't believe that the weigh-ins really dictate the weight. You know what I mean? Hazmat Chimaev, I don't know what he's gonna be at because he didn't fought at 3 different weight classes so far. But what's Gilbert Burns' natural weight? What is it? 190?
I think he walks around at 200, 205 naturally.
And that's fair. Know? What does Hazmat walk around at? We don't know.
I would say 185, my boy.
But we don't know.
I would say
because
if that.
He fought at 155, 170, and then 185 in a 15-day span. So how will we know that?
Who knows, man? But at this point, I mean, I think I'm giving it to Hazmat. You know, I know it's not like an underdog
night. And I'll go Gilbert Burns here, and that's another dinner, by the way. We'll do that dinner later on down the line, like probably after the NBA Finals. But that's another dinner that we'll take care of. But I believe that Gilbert Burns is this fight with Hazmat.
I'm going to Hazmat, man. I mean, the dude's a beast. Dude's crazy. Calling out
Dude's
Kamar,
a monster. Like,
calling out Kamar, calling out Israel Adesanya, calling out. I mean, he wants to smoke with everybody.
So scary too. Like
he fought in the, I think was it the Russian or the Swedish? He fought in the military as well.
Yeah, but he's super scary. He's like, I killed them all. What he yelling? I killed them all. I killed them all. Like, dude, he's carrying a dude across the cage while he's like
just screaming his head off.
Like, yeah, like I'm like, yo, like Joe Rogan said it best. That's scary, man. Like, and I'm gonna pull this like during editing and stuff. I'm gonna pull this up where you can see it. He's scary. He's a scary guy. He fought at 185, dropped the guy with one punch. Who does that?
It's almost like a video game, bro. He's just kind of plugging and playing wherever he wants, you know?
Yes, it's scary. It's vicious. And I like it. Because that's how you're supposed to be if you're going into the fight game.
Anywhere, anytime.
Anywhere, anytime. Forget friends. Forget weight class. This is what you're supposed to be. I love it. Really, those are 3 highlighted fights of this main card. I mean,
there was supposed to be Kevin Gastelum on it.
Kevin Gastelum was supposed to be on it, but didn't he get canceled? What did he cancel for? Injury or something?
Isn't he always injured? Injured or not making weight?
Yeah, somewhat injured, somewhat not injured, and he just doesn't fight sometimes.
He just pulled. Honestly, I'm reading right now. He just pulled out of the fight.
You say he just pulled the fight?
Yeah, Gilbert Burns said I'm not gonna fight. He just said that's what I'm reading right now. There's no other elaborations on it.
Gilbert Burns or Kevin Gastelum?
Kevin Gastelum.
Okay.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say you said Gilbert Burns. That scared me.
Yeah, Kevin Gastelum is just. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
He had an injury, is what he's saying.
Man, but what's the injury? Tell us what the injury is so we can know if you need to be pulled from the fight.
I mean, it happened on April Fool's Day, so everyone thought
he was but he's not in the card, so like, you know.
No, he's releasing on Twitter. He's saying that I was advised not to disclose the injury, but just know I am compromised and won't be heading into the fight compromised the way that I am. I think it's a little bullshit. I think this guy needs to be cut from the UFC and never fight again. Misses weight all the time. And I mean, injuries happen. You know, I get that, but like, you were forced up a weight class and had success, but we're back at this. You know, how much of it is, you know, you think you're not going to make weight again?
And we don't know. And again, the camp hides a lot of it. And again, cutting weight could injure you like it did Khabib.
But if that happens, that's stuff that happens. You know, you got to take that L. But like, if you're not disclosing the injury, I feel like you're hiding something. You know, I'm a sketchy person of nature.
If it's
but fuck that. But fuck that. You know, I've never been a Kevin Gastelum fan. 30 years old. Hang up your gloves. You know.
Bingo. he's not gonna win the title. So like, just hang him up.
If
or make your money where you can make your money. But
go be an analyst, bro. I'm sure Fox will love you.
Be an analyst. That's perfect, right? But we're gonna end it here, man. 15-minute mark. Let's go ahead and end it. Thank y'all for listening to the Hot Topics podcast. It's your boy Chuck D, and I'm rocking with my boy who?
A Rowdy Razor, baby.
Salute.
Salute.